Hey everybody. I will wait a second to see if anyone logs on. My name is Jackie. I am here in California. Hopefully you can hear me okay if someone pops on. But I'm in the greater Sacramento area of California, and I love to do more shaggy blended haircuts on extensions. And hello, Brooke. So the reason is for me, I know I have a little bit older of a clientele, and I have experienced getting a lot of, we get people who have really short, really damaged hair. Let me pull her back a little bit. A lot of my clients come to me started like this, like so. Their hair's just brushing their collarbone. They have short over processed layers. Those are the people who I've noticed really want extensions. Can everyone hear me okay? My phone, of course, the mic isn't working, so I'm on my iPad. So anyway, I am into some more rockin' hair. I like to add a lot of layers, and I really like a very perfect blend. And there's nothing worse when perfect. Thank you. There's nothing worse when like you see, say, the top of the extensions just hanging like I call it a skullet. But the good news is right now, shags are really in, and you can create these really beautiful seamless blends where people had no idea. So, and I just posted a picture of one of my like main girls today that we're really rehabbing her hair because she has completely fried it off, and she actually needs extensions. It's been so overworked. And side note, I got her from another artist that had just really damaged her scalp. So you guys are in the right place with Grace. So a couple important things to keep in mind when you are going to do a shaggier haircut is placement. And Patricia's gone over this too, is you want to make sure that you are going close enough to the hairline. Of course, we don't want her end beads are right here. So you want to be able to hide it in a pony, but you also want to be able to fill in this hair that's right here. So when I am doing extensions, I am keeping in mind the haircut that I want after this is done. So she has a lot of our clients have a lot of broken hair. If they have overprocessed hair, which I tend to get a little, I've been getting those lately, where their hair's just fried off, and so now we're rehabbing it, and it doesn't seem to be the people that are on people's like Instagram feeds as much, but I encourage you to do it, but to post pictures of them, because it's pretty impressive, like the before and after, how different it is. So you definitely want to come close enough to the hairline, but there's definitely a no zone. So you can't go too close where the hair is sparse and where it will cause any pain. And you want to be able to cover it, so 2 fingers is about good, depending on their density. So you have to really keep that in mind. The other thing is the angle. We don't angle too much, because again, it'll cause drag right here if you're not careful. But angling it also helps to keep the hair draped forward a little bit and fill in those areas. I'm going to show you the placement of mine. I just sketched it up because, you know, I didn't have the digital. So this is her placement on here. We have 5 wefts on the bottom, 6 wefts in the middle, and 2 wefts folded on top. So in the middle, it's actually 4 up here. The reason why is because when you're doing a shaggier haircut with a lot of layers in it, you need room to carve it out. So we add a ton of hair, so that way you have a lot of hair to cut when we go into doing this. And I am going to get into doing this, but I did half of her hair, so we'll see if I can match this. Because typically what I do is I start around the face and on the top, and I kind of etch and kind of bonsai and watch it. But I did half of her hair so you could see what we're about to do. Okay, so things to keep in mind, aside from placement and the amount of wefts. You will be moving these up. So you have to be a little bit conservative at first so you can leave room for the extensions to last. So definitely keep that in mind, to just don't cut too close. There's a Goldilocks point of this. And keep in mind their hair is going to be growing, so when you move it up, and if you've cut too far into it, then you've lost some of the depth and the shape. So you have to leave a little bit of room, keeping in mind that you will be moving these up while their hair is growing out. So my goal with my clients, they always tend to start with 2.5 rows, which is a lot of stamina when you're doing a lot of hair color and extension placement. So the sweet spot for me is 2 rows for everybody. That's my goal, is I want to grow out their top layers to get to 2 rows, and we start kind of taking off that mini, unless they love the thickness. So make space when you're cutting and start conservatively, because over time the extensions are going to get dry, they need to be trimmed. My extensions started down here last summer and now they're up to here. But I do actually have a lot of clients at this length. So definitely keep that in mind. When you're doing a move up, it is incredibly important to take Post-it notes, little clips. I have, you can't see it, but this is a 3-tier cart that I organize my wefts in. So I label them. And I label them bottom row right, bottom row left, because when you're doing a strong cut like this, you need to put it back in the right place. So I had one of the reasons why my hair is shorter too is I had a student, she was practicing, I was letting her use me as a model, and she accidentally I was working on my computer and not paying attention. I labeled them, but still, like, she put the bottom on the top, and I've done it before. And it's terrible, and you have to start all over again, or you have to cut it all over again, and then it gets shorter. So definitely label your bottom row, your top row, and then the right from the left. If you are doing an invisible method, it's even more important to be like the bottom of the bottom row. So label them out, have 3-tier carts really help, or a big table workspace, so you can have them all labeled out so your haircut goes back when you go to do a move up. Exciting news is that we're starting to do move ups at 4 weeks, just express ones, which would be so nice. With that being said, I'm gonna just start cutting her. And we'll get into it. So you can use a razor. Let me see if I can get my chair out of my way. So you can use a razor, of course. I know, I can't wait for express move-ups. It'll be really needed when this is over, because I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be probably raising my prices and offering express services, and rather to help with the xylophone effect that happens when we're done with this quarantine. Okay, so you can use a razor. I prefer scissors personally, but they do dull out quickly, so keep that in mind. You gotta get them sharpened a lot. Okay, so let me see the best way that you guys can see and I can cut. So what I like to do is I start at the face. There are many roads to Rome. People do this differently, and I am taking the hair from right at the ear, and I'm taking this hair and concentrating on that, and this is going to be her face framing layers. So what I like to do is I will kind of shake the natural hair out, keep in mind where it's at, and I start to just etch it in. Hopefully we can all see that. And I take some pretty strong cuts. There's a lot of different styles of cutting for extensions I've noticed, and some people go really, really soft, which is great. But this is definitely more for those people who have a lot of those short layers, a lot of broken hairs in there, which I believe we get a lot, because those are the people that really want longer hair. So that's gonna blend. I am gonna end up cutting her bangs shorter. I did it on this side, but that also helps to blend that line and to bring it down a little bit more. So we'll do that in a minute too, and I'll style her. I might definitely go over the 30-minute time, but where are y'all going anyway? Nowhere. Okay, so I have that established. I know I want to trim her bangs shorter already. So I'm gonna go at this kind of bonsai-like and give her more of a curtain bang. Define this bang a little bit by, this is just a little trick to define these guys so they're really nice and strong. So we'll start there. Let's make sure they're connected. Okay, so I have her fringe established. Now what I like to start doing, let me make sure y'all are good. Actually, I'm going to turn on my studio light just a little bit. Is that better? I think that's better. Lighting is odd in my little cave office right now. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is I start from these layers. Now, I do not promise my guests a length because of their hair being so short. I try to keep as much length as possible, but it really depends on how short their layers are. And this mannequin is so perfect because a lot of people, if their layers are at their chin, that you have to cut into the length and the thickness a little bit more. But Shag's in, so yay. So I just don't promise them a length. I just say I will try to keep it as long as possible, just depending on how you like it. The other important thing with this too is if you know you're going to do a haircut like this, wash the extension hair a few times to let it fluff up. If you don't, then at their maintenance appointment, expect to cut more after they've washed it a few times. Just start with one haircut. Most of my maintenance appointments involves a little bit of extra cutting just to blend a couple pieces. They've styled it. They might have a couple pieces that are bugging them. So definitely leave room to cut more. This hair's been pre-washed quite a few times, so it's pretty fluffy. This is my practice hair that I scrapped all together to make enough. So all I'm looking for are these little lines to disappear. And I am just pinching sections, and I'm actually taking some pretty strong carves out of it. I like piecey. I like to see pieces. So it's a little bit more aggressive in the cutting. But right now I'm on like the mini. And moving into this piece now is the top of the second row. So, or the middle row. So this is my length. And so I'm just grabbing those pieces that are, and carving off the top of the top rows. So if you have any questions answering them, I'm gonna have to like stop and check. So I'll get to you guys soon, but this is always fun to watch. This is like, what is it ASMR? I always find watching cutting really satisfying, so hopefully you guys too. And I am just opening my scissors and just lightly feathering them down as I go. Good, I'm glad that image looks good. Okay, so you guys can see nice and clearly. So I'm just pinching and grabbing, pinching and grabbing. And then pinching and grabbing the hair, it's important to step back. And I have a mirror right here that I can look in. So I'm looking at her. It's important to step back. It's kind of funny because I'm doing half the head, but typically I'm walking around, I'm stepping back, I'm looking for balance. And I mean, sometimes a haircut can take me 45 minutes to an hour. That's why I did half of it, so it didn't take too long for you guys. So pinching and grabbing, pinching and grabbing. So I've established a blend from here to here right now. And since this is more of a bonsai style cutting, traditionally we're over directing, we're lifting things out of place, but with extensions, it's a little bit more important to not lift them all the way up, because what happens is it falls differently. It's not like our natural hair, it's condensed. So you don't want to pull it out of the place it lives too far, like you would in a traditional hair cutting method where we're doing degrees and angles and over directions and things like that. I don't pull extensions too far out of place, even though our muscle memory kind of wants us to. I struggled with that at first, and I ended up cutting into the length a bit too much. Okay, so I've worked my way down, pinching, grabbing, blending. Let me move her so you guys can see her better. So I feel like I have this top, she's rocking already. So I have that top pretty well blended. And I started blending right below her layers. So again, when we go to move this up, if she was a real person and her hair grew, it would have at least an inch of space to kind of give it some leeway to still be layery and pretty. And as we remove some of the extensions, as her natural hair grows, then the haircut is still good. So, okay. Now, let's see, I'm gonna move you a little bit further. Hi, everybody. Okay. So I'm gonna start going into here because with the way shags are, it does blend all the way down. So I just start working my way from the top all the way down. So I blended this, and now I'm working down here. I'm gonna like do some lunges. Cross training in here. Exercise in my quarantine. This mannequin headstand is wobbly and old, so I kind of have to like set it and forget it. So my body has to contour around it. So I pinch pieces, I grab them up, and then I just step back and see how it's blending. I want to see a cascade of hair. Okay. So pinching, grabbing, pinch. And there's quite a bit of hair on the ground, and clients, I try not to let them see it. But by this time we've talked about how like I'm adding a lot of hair so I can layer a lot of hair, and that's how these things work. So, okay. All right, I'm gonna get down here. What did you say? Let's see. So you're starting the extension cutting layers 1 inch longer than our natural, so the move up will still blend. Yes. So just a little bit. I go really light up here. These are her layers, right? So I shake them out. Let me move them. Can you see that? Let's see. So this is where her extension hair, or her natural hair, excuse me, ends. And I moved my fingers back down and shake it out. And I started lightly blending just past them. And, you know, with these haircuts, I think talking about wearing it curly more often is better. I know we can wear extensions straight, but with these kind of cuts, you need some movement and you need to blend it with styling as well, especially if they want a lot of length out of it. But yes, I start a little bit past their natural hair. So I shake it out. It was right here, and I start right here. Make sense? Okay. Oy. With some hard ground. All right, let me see. Actually, I'll face her to me and look in the mirror this way. It's odd having the camera and the mirror and my body all together. Okay, so let's see. I think we're really, really close, and I have my curling iron heated up too, ready to go. So if anyone has any other questions. So now I'm at the bottom. And I start grabbing and pinching the bottom too. I am going to be keeping her length because, kind of funny story, I want to style it, but my toddler saw her hair and like wanted her hands on it. She's like, I want to do pigtails so bad. I can see it in my mind already. I love her hair. So I'll probably be letting my 6-year-old play with her a little bit, gently. We're teaching 6-year-olds how to do hair in this house right now. Okay, so I have etched into the bottom a little bit. Some people want a stronger line, which you can absolutely do. Okay, let's see. And at that point, can you see me? And I want to keep her shaggy and long. I like the long, skinny pieces. But I clean it up just a little bit so it has a fresh cut. And I'm just kind of cutting those ends a little bit. I personally like a very oval shape. So I keep in front and walk around and get it a very nice cascade all the way back. So no matter where they position their hair, it blends and it flows. So the other point to this too, which placement is really important, is this hair right under here. So that hair needs to be blended as well. And the same thing, I grab the bottom of that row. Sometimes placement is super important with this. I have really thick hair, and you have to discuss this and be clear. I break rules, but learn them first. I do dip the extensions a little bit below my occipital on purpose because I am super thick right here, and I hate that chunk of hair. So I have my extensions dip a little bit below the occipital. I'm sorry, Patricia, I know it's breaking some rules, but it helps to blend that thick hair right here if people are chunky. The other thing you can do is, okay, good. I'm like, So the other thing you can do too, with permission from your guests, and I do this as well on my hair, is I shred this hair. Like, I texturize it. I do not want to see a chunk. It drives me nuts. So as long as your client's okay with it and they know, we're shagging that out too. So she has a nice little chunk of hair right there. For me in my hair, I will go through, hold on, let me take the razor. I did not grab my thinning shears from my studio. So I'll do this with the razor really quick. And I will shatter their natural hair just a bit so it can get some skinnier ends and blend a little bit better if they're okay with it. The other thing is I take this corner and I start to pinch again. Now again, this is an area that cuts into the thickness of your length, so keep it in mind. And when I go to blend it, I don't always blend it all the way down, but here's my hair. I shake it out and I move my finger down just a little bit to give it some room. So I will do some strong cuts in through here and then just lightly go. So I'm not cutting into the length, but when they go to curl their hair and they're pulling this in front, they have pieces blending that chunk right there. So there's her hair, I shook it out, and I'm just gonna blend in this middle section and then kind of let the rest go for a little bit. All right, I think, what do you guys think? Do you have any other questions? Oh no, Brooke, I know, I'm gonna cut my hair too. I'm like, we're all telling our clients not to cut their own hair, but like all the hairdressers and our kids are gonna like come out of this quarantine completely different. We're so bored. Okay. I know, I should leave my mannequin head room to cut too because she's so cute. I love it. So, okay. I'm going to start styling her, and if you guys have any questions at all, I'm actually going to cut a little bit more into her actual hair. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I am going to style her in the 70s fashion that I love. Okay, so what'd you say? Woo! Oh my God, this office is not equipped to be a salon. Okay, so let's see. Thank you. Yes, rules can be broken. Let's see what else. I like shears over a razor because it is just my vibe. I feel like I can, okay. One, the razor needs to be super, super sharp. And for me, I just have more control with my shears than I do a razor, and I like to make some pretty strong haircuts. So this is, so that's just my preference, and it wreaks havoc on my shears, I know, but I like to really have some strong pieces in there, and you can do the same thing with a razor. It's totally okay. So, yeah, fresh razor, every single guest. This, and then I have been really enjoying styling people just kind of with my 1.5, and I don't do a full curl. I'm almost sliding it through like we used to do in like the early 2000s when I started doing hair, and we didn't have flat irons yet. So we would just take a curling iron and swipe through. Thank you. I love her haircut too. I'll finish it all. And I am kind of terrible, you guys. Like, I tell my clients to section their hair, but I grab and pinch pieces with no rhyme or reason when I'm styling too. So this is definitely a breaking the rules tutorial, not a, maybe not real life. Because typically when I'm styling my client's hair and I am taking them through a lesson, I am sectioning their hair and talking about how it needs, you know, you need to organize it so you're not overwhelmed. But then in real life, what I do is like just grab random pieces and hope I don't miss one. So I'm a little bit of a rebel, I guess. And to be honest, probably just lazy. out really cute. Now I have to figure out what I want to do with this mannequin for the rest of my quarantine. Do some extension updos, sell this stuff to some brides. I definitely am taking this time to rebrand. So Brooke, your classes are awesome. The Facebook ads class I'm gonna have to rewatch because my kids were being wild. Do I ever use? Yes, I do use, yeah, braids. I use texturizing shears, yeah, especially, I tend to use them on the ends, on the length a little bit to give it more of a very natural appeal if it's getting too blocky. Does that make sense? And I definitely use it in those corners right here that get thick. I'll use those on there. I just forgot to bring mine, but there's a lot of tools. You can use whatever makes you comfortable. This is very shattery and very free form. You know, it's like a bonsai tree. I think I was trained by Vidal Sassoon years ago, and then I did a style called a Jacques Desage, which is more condensed cutting, and I love both. I love having a rhyme or reason, but I really like freeform cutting and just being able to go in and visually see everything I'm doing and just go for it, which is kind of why I love cutting extensions for that reason. But because I can just bonsai and just go to town and throw all of your traditional cutting rules kind of out the window. All right. Let's see. A couple more pieces. This is where sectioning probably would come in handy, but why? I'm going to do this very quickly for you guys so we can see an end, a finished product. Let's see. And she was styled last night too. And I think when we're doing these things too, like a lot of times I am cutting after I've finished styling. Put that guy right there. And let's see. So here she is, finished. Her chemical haircut is blended in because she was an overprocessed blonde before. She's got her shaggy layers. These are 18-inch extensions, so they definitely have to cascade all the way down. So we have, let's see. Thank you, thank you. So I like to kind of just go through, shake it, see if there's any pieces that are funky. So I'll go through and I definitely, yeah. So I definitely went to town last night on this side. I'm gonna go a little bit more on this side because I can just feel it. So going through with your fingers and feeling for balance is really important too. They're gonna go home and they're gonna curl this and they're gonna see and find all these pieces that might be like random long ones. So this is definitely, take your time. Keep going for it and find balance in it all. But it's a strong haircut. So like I said in the beginning, definitely make sure that when you put it back together, you put it back together in the right order. And that's where like labels, sticky notes, a lot of space comes in. And so for those people that have those short little skullet haircuts up here because they've overprocessed or they've process too much in here where all the hair is the most fragile, they can get a really on-trend cut with extensions. Like, thank you, Shags, for being in. So, with that, does anyone have any other questions? Because I believe I can end it, because I could literally cut for days, which is not good. You have to stop yourself, but she's not stopping me. So, we're gonna have some fun styling this girl over the next few weeks. You are welcome to follow me on Instagram. I am Jackie, or at Jackie.liftedbeauty, Jaki. Thank you. And I'm definitely on there. I'm not on Facebook as much, although after the last class, I definitely have new eyes for Facebook. So thank you everybody. Have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna turn this light off my face because it's making me look shiny. So let me see if there's any other questions and then I'll end it. I want it to. Yes, I want new hair and a new textured cut. I think I answered everyone's questions. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to post the before and after of her. I'll take an after photo of her, and thank you. And I'll post it below this video so you can see what she looked like before, and I'll post her placement, how many wefts, and if you have any other further questions, feel free to reach out. I'm bored, guys. So, all right, everybody have a good day. Be safe, stay well. Mwah.